Streaming.
Okay. Okay, we are live. All right, welcome everybody to our regular city council meeting, City of Washington Terrace, Tuesday, November 18th. Welcome to all of you. Let's get started tonight. No work session this evening, so we're going to start right on number 1 with a roll call. Amy.
Mayor Allen.
Here.
Councilmember Christiansen.
Here.
Councilmember Zishan.
Here.
Councilmember Parkinson.
Here.
Councilmember West.
Here.
Councilmember Thomas.
Here.
All right, thank you, Amy, and everybody's here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for being present. Item number 2 is our Pledge of Allegiance. If you'll all rise, repeat the pledge with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Thank you all for that Pledge of Allegiance. Appreciate that. Again, welcome to everybody that's with us tonight in person and online. Thank you very much. We'll go to item number 4, consent items, approval of tonight's agenda, and November 4th, 2025 meeting minutes. Anybody have any changes to those meeting minutes? Look pretty good, Amy. Thank you. Agenda look okay? No changes to this agenda you have printed for us? Thank you, staff. Appreciate that. Anyone opposed to approving those items? Seeing no opposition, we'll approve those by general consent. Thank you very much. Item number 5 is a citizen comment. Opportunity to speak to the council if you'd like. No more than 3 minutes. Just come forward, state your name. So, anybody? Man, look at that. He just made it. Just made it.
Just by the deck.
State your name, please.
Okay, I'm Steve Robinson, and I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm a partner in the Ogden Transfer Station. Seen it was on the agenda tonight and thought I'd just be here if you had any questions. Be happy to answer them. There's a couple of a little bit of misinformation out there about the Ogden Transfer Station. If I was in your shoes, I'd have the same 2 questions that all the cities have. And we've met with the county. They've asked us to meet with them, and we've worked very hard in alleviating those concerns. And they've continued to kind of bring this misinformation around. But the 2 things, guys, is and ladies, is one, that we cannot offer the same residential. So that if the county decided they didn't want to keep their doors open, that we couldn't offer the same residential drop-off services that they do. And we've assured them, and I assure you, that we can offer every service and will and are that the county's offering in drop-off services. So that's a non-issue. The second one is, okay, if we're not here, the rates will go out the roof and we'll get gouged. Okay, I'd have the same question if I was in your shoes. We've worked very hard to eliminate that issue as well, and we have. So we can, and the county cannot, will not, offer you long-term rates that you can count on and budget for. That's been hard for us as haulers to ever budget, because all of a sudden we check with them, hey, what's this year look like? What's the rates going to be? We're good. And then pretty soon we get a rate increase and we can't pass that on. And so it's been a little bit difficult. So they can't, we can offer you a rate that you can budget on, that you can count on and know what you're going to be paying. Whether that's a 2-year, 5-year, or more agreement, we're going to be completely transparent with that. The other thing with that, if any of you have been in business or are in business, you know that's a death sentence. You start gouging people, number one, been in this game for a long time, 50 years, and that's not how we do things. But number two, it's a death sentence. All that does is open it up to a competitor. Okay, the opportunity's there. We're going to come in. It's just dumb. It's dumb business. So that's never going to happen. And I just wanted to assure you that those things are being promoted out there, but they're not true. And so, we're just out to grow our business. We're not out to do anything else. And hey, I respect whatever decision you guys need to make. But I just wanted to make that clear that those two things should not be an item and a concern. We've alleviated those, so I think for the residents, it's going to be sweet. We've got accessibility that we can get them in and out, and it's going to be quick and instead of waiting in lines. So we feel like we've got all our bases covered. But if you have any questions, I'd be happy to. And thanks for your time. Thanks for your consideration.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you. Anybody else at this time? Nobody else? Okay. Let's move on. Item number 6, new business. Item 6.1, presentation, Finance Department Quarterly Report. Cherie, you're up.
It's good to be here. Good evening. I did send you guys out a report today. It's the quarterly report as well as some additional financial information. You did receive the September report back maybe a month or so ago. So I'm really going to be working off of those numbers. I'm just giving you just in little bit different perspective. All right, let's jump in and dive into it. I wanted to start this report out. Let me go to the top here. I'm going to just kind of walk through the report with you, but I wanted to just let's remind ourselves of kind of where we started when we put this budget together, so we might be able to better gauge and have some different conversations or questions as we move through the budget. When we started the budget, we started it back in March. So let's talk about what some of those assumptions were when we were putting the budget together. One is, if you recall, there was a lot of uncertainty going into the budget with what the impacts of the tariffs were going to be. Remember that? Lots of conversations with that. It changed hourly, it changed daily, it changed weekly. It was all over the place. So that tariff uncertainty is built into the budget here, okay, that we're going to be talking about. The effects on inflation, how those tariffs were going to affect the cost of goods that we would need to procure to conduct city business. That was a big uncertainty, as well as the effects on the economy overall. What is the impacts of these tariffs going to be on the overall economy? So going into it, there was all that uncertainty that you'll see in the budget amounts that you'll see in the quarterly report. The other thing that was happening at the time was with the federal government and a lot of employment decline, shrinking the federal government, lots of layoffs, lots of all of that going on, and we're still seeing that to this day. The concern with that is we know that we're heavily reliant on government employment here for our local economy, and how is that going to show up, particularly with sales tax. With people not having that disposable income, that was a concern as well. That's built into the budget. The other thing that's built into the budget back in the early stages, I guess, at the adoption stage, was just very few limited prospects on growing our own local economy. Not a lot of growth, not much there to build in as far as economic development here. A few things, but not much. So just kind of a reminder is kind of where the budget was built off of. It might help shape some of the conversations or some of the thoughts moving forward. All right, let's jump in. I am going to start right up here in the general fund, and as you know, you're familiar with this format. I do focus on the quarterlies, on those areas that have the most operating impacts. So, sorry, bear with me here a little bit, I'm bouncing around on this. Okay, we're going to jump into taxes for the first quarter. First quarter taxes, basically what you're seeing, if you take all those taxes, property, sales, franchise, you're looking at basically a flat growth. So when I'm talking about comparisons, I'm always going to be comparing the prior year to date, okay? So I'm comparing first quarter this year to first quarter last year. So just keep that in mind as we work through here. It's basically flat. You've got sales tax that's not doing much. You've got property tax that we really don't know what property tax is going to do until the end of the year because they're not due yet or distributed. And you've got franchise tax, that has a little bit of growth, but if you net all that together, we're looking at flat. Now, why I want to emphasize that is a couple things. One is taxes for the general fund are our major revenue sources. That is where those are those ongoing revenues that we rely on to run our governmental services. Now, let's talk really quick about sales tax. So sales tax, also what to keep in mind with sales tax is we're 2 months delayed. So the first quarter, which ends in September, it has only one reporting month, which is July, for sales tax. So August and September are estimates, okay? And going into the budget, we actually projected flat sales tax growth because of those things I just told you back at the beginning, okay? So if you look at how we're performing during the first quarter to what we have projected, we're actually really on target budgetarily, okay? So let me move down here. Any questions on tax stuff? Okay, let's keep moving down then. Building permits, so licenses and permits. Building permits, building permits have come in as, they've actually come in pretty good this year. What we do with building permits, when we approach building permits and how we budget for those, is we budget based off of those small, regular, recurring permits. For example, a roofing permit, an electrical permit, mechanical permits. Those small permits is what we build into our budget. The new construction, new development, new stuff like that, we consider that one-time money. And when those permits land, we treat them as one-time money. Okay, so you've got a regular reoccurring, the roofings, the electricals, those kinds of things. And then you have new permits, and we treat those as one-time money. So with building permits, we actually will be exceeding our estimates there budgetarily, which is quite early, so that's great. And really what's pushing those, what's pushing those budget figures, or will be pushing those budget figures, is Canyon Construction. They recently pulled a permit in September. I think you guys are familiar with that development, and that helped push that over the budget number there. So we're looking good on permits. Permits and planning fees, they actually fall in line with one another. Business licensing hasn't really started yet, so that's why you're not seeing much there. That will start here. We'll actually start seeing some of those renewals November, December, and into January. So we'll keep you updated on that as those come in. On the business licensing, any questions on permits or licensing? And again, if things come up, if you have questions, you know where to find me. Please feel free to reach out. All righty. So then we're going to run down to intergovernmental, court, and investment earnings. Intergovernmental, it's showing a slight little decline there. But again, we really don't have much traction in the first quarter. Things don't come in, our inflows don't come in at a regular, equal pace. Sometimes we, for example, property tax, we won't get property tax till December and January. So there is a cycle to how those inflows come in. But intergovernmental revenues, just a slight decline there. and that's because of contract services we have with Marriott Slaterville, and that is based off of the number of fines that we process on their behalf. Court fines are also down a little bit, and investment earnings are down as well. But I did want to spend a little bit of time on investment earnings. So investment earnings, you can see I've given you a 3-year historical look. Investment earnings are continuing to trend down, and that's very simple because the rates are trending down. So last July 2024, we stood at 5.3% return on our investment. That's gone down an entire percent. So we're actually July, the average rate of return for the first quarter is down to 4.43, so an entire percent decline. And that is really what's driving that decline that you see on our return on our investment for investment earnings. Let's see here. Any questions? Any questions there? As we work through the quarters and throughout the year, you'll notice that I do kind of do an extra focus or emphasis on different areas, and investment earnings is an area that I will take a little deeper dive with you on in future quarters. So if you have any questions on that. So overall, let's take a look. Overall, the general fund, despite some of the downturns in some of the revenues, we've also had some increases as well. And so really the net decrease is only $7,000 when we look at compared to the prior year to date. So that's not bad. It's really balanced out quite nicely in that regard. It's a little bit offset a little bit because we do have one-time revenues that we're talking about and ongoing, but then the overall bottom line is it's not bad. It's right there. Expenditures. So expenditures have come in actually a little bit heavier when you look at a comparison from the prior year. Expenditures have increased by about $88K or $88,000 or about 10% from the prior year, which we're seeing a very, very typical representation of our cash flow in this particular graph, revenues over expenditures. And it's very, very common for us to go into a cash deficit on the first quarter. And you see that there, $84,000. So we had more expenditures going out than revenues coming in. That's one of the reasons why we rely on our cash reserves, because the first quarter, we haven't received those big chunks of money like property tax. We haven't received the bulk of sales tax. So we rely on our reserves to carry us through the first quarter to make up the difference. And then you'll start to see just substantially the opposite effect come the second quarter, where we have much more revenues than we did expenditures going out. What are those major? So we've got $88,000 or $88,000 of an increase or 10%. What were some of those large expenses? What were some of those large factors? Your workforce investment that you've made, contract services, public safety, animal control, landscaping, etc. A lot of those have a built-in automatic increase as well. And then just your general operating costs as well. Nothing else that kind of stands out other than those things that I just mentioned there. So overall, I would say that we're really kind of on track. Nothing that is that's concerning to me at this point, that's really standing out. It really kind of feels like business as usual, with it just a couple of those highlights that I pointed out. So really nothing more on the general fund there. We'll have more to talk about, I think, too, once we kind of get a little bit more trending with this fiscal year, a little bit more under our belt. So, any questions on the general fund? Okay, great. I'm gonna lump the utilities, if you're okay. I'm gonna lump that into just one easy conversation. The details are there if you want to throw yourself into them, and even more detail is there if you want to throw yourself into the worksheet. But essentially, the utilities are actually they're mostly very, very predictable, and what you're seeing in the first quarter is very predictable. There's nothing that stands out to me. It's like, yep, it's doing its thing. Yes, it's doing what it's supposed to. The areas where you will see fluctuation, generally is when, depending on how much capital investment we're making during that quarter, okay? So if we're undertaking more capital projects, infrastructure projects, capital equipment, if we're making those capital investments, you'll start to see that in the numbers. And they can really kind of show up anytime depending on when that investment is made, okay? But again, that's budgeted for, but they can skew the numbers when you'll see, oh, we're making some capital investment this quarter. You'll see that kind of spike or lack thereof. So just keep that in mind. Nothing here, is going over budget. It's all within the budget parameters. It's just kind of a timing issue of when those expenses hit the books. But other than that, I really don't have anything else that really stands out for me on the utility funds that would be worth pointing out. And that's really all I have. Do you have any questions for me?
All right, thanks, Cherie. Any questions on any of those items for Cherie?
No, well, I mean, I think you answered this question, but there's, an increase in capital expenditure on utilities, but that's expected at this time of year, is that what you're saying? So there's 95K represented as an increase.
It can, it can be. So you've got the water, sewer, and storm. That's where your capital investments are going to be made. Some may show that increase in capital investment, and some may not. So it just depends. It's not going to be across the board. But are you looking at a particular area? Are you looking at maybe the water fund or something?
Let's see, which section are we in here? Yeah, water fund.
Okay. So if you look at the water
It
fund.
says total fund expenses
Looks
are up 23% or 94K from the prior year to date.
Yeah, look on page, I don't think I page numbered it, but it's the second, for me it's page 8, but it's the second water fund worksheet. It says water expenses by type.
Okay, yeah.
If you look at that chart, and I know I just provided to you guys today and late in the day, so I apologize for that, but I think that we can walk through it here pretty quickly. If you look at the orange on the graph there represents capital investment, and you'll see in 2024, 2025, which is the center column, that's last year, the capital investment was about 130, and then it jumped this year to 225. So yes, the answer is yes. You saw a much greater capital investment, and then that affected the bottom line.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Anybody else? Cherie, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Graphs always help explain things.
They do, and looking at my graph, I don't know how yours looks. That one's really tight. It's kind of hard to see it, so probably needs to be opened up a little bit to kind of really see the movement of the graph at the bar. So,
Okay.
sounds good. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Okay. Thank you, Cherie.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Okay. Let's move on. Item 6.2, motion-resolution 25-23, interlocal agreement regarding municipal delivery for solid waste to Weber County Transfer Station. Tom.
Okay. We've been working with Weber County. We've met with the folks over at the Ogden Transfer Station as well, with Mr. Robinson, and been working with the county. Actually, we've been working with them for several years on getting a solid and reliable transfer station for not only for our curbside mainstream waste, but also the work that we do with residents taking their various trailers and hazardous waste, doing green waste, and wood products, taking care of various and sundry waste disposal opportunities and components of whether it's a bark product or mulch and those kinds of things. So we've been working with them and strengthening the process that we do with Weber Transfer Station, and we've been made aware that without a without a guaranteed waste stream for the municipalities, it would put the Weber transfer station at risk because they won't have the volume. With waste, everything's about volume and tonnage. If we have a situation where there's a vacuum of solid waste going to the Weber transfer station, it would put obviously that facility at risk. We've been told by Mr. Robinson and others that essentially right now they're setting up the Ogden transfer station so that we'll sell, so that they can sell that obviously for margin. That's why people go into business. And there's no disparage. We don't want to be disparaging to them at all, but we feel that with all the collective waste for the cities, it would help strengthen the platform for Weber transfer station so that we can maintain the level of service that we currently have and that we can rely on. And feel like it would be in the best interest of our residents to avoid a situation where there is a lack of capacity to drop off trailer waste, those kind of things. When residents just swing by and come in and drop off waste, we were told by Mr. Robinson and others that may happen in the future. They would have to do some expansion. We were told that they would need to do some expansion to make that happen. But that's not really the problem. The problem is we feel like we would be better served by not having necessarily a monopoly, by removing the Weber transfer station and eliminating that and just turning it over to another line of business. So in our interest, we feel like having Weber, like committing our waste for the next 5 years to Weber would be in the best interest of our residents. If at some time in the future, 5 years, 10 years, whatever down the road, and say, hey, look, they have proven that the rates, the service, the capacity to cover the concerns that we've had have been met, and maybe in 5, 10, whatever years, they'd say, hey, this is going to be the best for not only the residents, but also just for the general service in the area. We're dealing with a known product right now and a potential unknown for the future. And we appreciate Robbins and their service over the years, decades, in serving Weber County, Davis County, and others with solid waste for their waste products. That's not what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with a different investment group that is looking to basically get the waste stream, sell the facility for Ogden. It's what we've been told from their people. And we would like to have the opportunity to stay in business with Weber Transfer Station. Mayor,
Okay.
anything else to add to that?
No, that's just, nope.
We're not here to be disparaging
Right.
to a business. We're here to
Right.
support what we're doing and how we feel that we're in the best position to support the residents and those who need that service when they line up on a Saturday with their trucks and trailers.
Yeah, and I guess that's what we put. We've been with Weber Transfer Station for forever. That was the only game in town. So, and we know it's proven, and we know it.
Yep.
We can trust their service. So, yeah. So that's going out, and this agreement is going to go out to all cities, and we'll see how that lands. So, Cheryl.
Because we've been looking over this process that you guys have had multiple meetings about this concept here. At one point, we were talking about the financial impact of this one, and that the financial cost of Weber Transfer Station may be a little bit higher right at present than the Ogden Transfer Station. Is that correct?
It is. Ogden Transfer Station is cheaper per ton than Weber
At this point.
at this time.
And yet from what we just heard tonight, the services are equal or the services are not equal?
Our understanding from the meetings that we've had, that at this time, they're not equal.
They are not equal at this time,
That's right.
okay? And
They have told us that they'd be willing to in the future. The mayor and I had a meeting that we were told that, yeah, we could expand our facility. We could make that happen. And in 5 years or some time when this lapses, we can say, hey, you have reached those goals. And so that conglomerate that is whoever it is that's buying it, that is a complete unknown right now to us. I don't even know what investment bankers, whatever it is, they're setting up, as we've been told, to get this thing sold so that it can be linked with another landfill that they own and another facility in order to do that for the business model. I'm not speaking for them. That's our understanding from meetings that we've had with them and others.
I appreciated the straightforwardness of saying we cannot say that our rates are not going to change because, as we all know, cost of fuel changes, rates for employment changes. This would go with whichever facility we went with. This is not a guarantee. So as I read through the possible agreement here, it does not talk about a financial agreement. It is simply an agreement for services.
That's right.
Is that how I understand it?
Yep.
And I also read in there that there is a clause that if we choose to change our services within that 5 years, I think, is it the 2-year notification?
There is an out clause.
There is
If
the
we-
out clause.
Yes, if we look at it and say, hey, these other people have really proven well, the people whoever the investment group that buys that facility, they've proven, maybe there's a time to look at it. We feel in our best interest, we stay with what we're doing now and see how that goes.
And keep feedback from
Yeah.
these other facilities as well, that
Yep.
we've had good presentation. Thank you, appreciate that you spending the time tonight to say, hey, this is what we're looking at, where we're headed. Thank you very much for Tom, you and Mayor's time invested into taking a look at this for us. Thank you.
I could add to that,
Would you like to hear from Mr. Robinson? No?
It's up to you. You had those meetings.
Yeah, we've had those meetings. Steve, you want to just come add to what's been said so far quickly?
Well, I'll be very brief. So we're assuming, okay, that this will be sold someday. It could. It may not. That's just business. So that's an assumption.
So were we incorrect when your team met with the county people, that their goal is to actually sell this quickly and to make this happen just as soon as possible?
Not necessarily quickly.
No, and that's all part of business, right?
You don't know how business will play out.
Sure.
So, the timing's everything. Is that a possibility? Absolutely. But it's not an assumption that is guaranteed.
If you speak into the
Steve,
microphone.
yes, Steve, get a little closer there.
The other thing I just wanted to say is, that there's a small gap in the rate now, but we believe that that gap will widen over time. Okay, it's just numbers. As we gain more tonnages, the county loses more tonnages. That's going to happen if that happens. So we're going to work very hard to make our business successful, and so that gap could, and we all know that, get very wide, not just what the increment is now. So, anyway, I told you I'd be brief, so.
No, okay.
Okay, thanks, Mayor.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Steve. Okay. Yeah, this is something we've been working on for a long time. And I feel like going with the Weber, at this time, staying with Weber County Transfer Station is our best option. So like I say, that could change, you know, so. But, any other questions from council?
I just wanted to add,
Jill.
I feel like I appreciate the long view that we're taking as, right now, the rates are lower, but things could be in flux. And so I think that it's wise that we stay with the transfer station like we've been talking about until things can balance out a little bit more and we can see a little bit more what the other businesses are going to be offering more long-term when they're more established. So I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the efforts that mayor and staff that you've made to help us understand what's going on and to help maintain that we're providing something that can be stable, that's been proven for our citizens, and then open-ended if things change, there's an option to do so. I appreciate that.
Okay. All right, any other comments? Jeff?
Yeah, just one point of clarification. We do have an out clause. It's a 2-year notice, if you will. So what we're looking at here is an initial 5-year. So does that mean if we don't reevaluate this at year 3, it's going to automatically renew at year 5 because we didn't give them 2 years?
No, what this is an out clause that we would need to give them 2 years' notice in order to pull out of the agreement. So let's say that in a year, we say, this really isn't working, we would give them 2 years' notice. The reason that it is drafted this way is so that we have a stronger commitment, so that
For planning.
we and Weber County, each city, each entity is actually on the board for the solid waste facility for Weber County. So there is a voice there. It's not like we just turn it over to them and leave it. We actually work with them on strategies to keep us moving in the right direction. And so that the consistency and so that we can, I say we only, Weber County, and our cities can anticipate what's coming forward. They want a strong commitment with that 2 years opt-out option. So if we decide,
So a year
at some
from now, or
point-
2 years from now, we could reevaluate this.
and we give them a 2-year notice,
Right.
and then we could opt out. So a year from now, we go, hey, we're done. We'll give a 2-year notice, and then year 3, we would be out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right. Okay. Anybody else? We have that as action tonight, and that is Resolution 25-23. Would entertain a motion.
I move that we approve Resolution 2523, the interlocal agreement regarding municipal delivery for solid waste to the Weber County's transfer station.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, I heard. Any further discussion, council? Seeing none, we'll take a vote. That'll be a roll call vote. Amy?
Councilmember Christiansen?
Yes.
Councilmember Zishan?
Yes.
Councilmember Parkinson?
Yes.
Councilmember West?
Yes.
Councilmember Thomas?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That was unanimous. Appreciate that. And we'll keep going with that. Steve, appreciate your time.
Thank
If we
you.
have any questions, we know who to call. You've been doing this for decades, as you said. So good luck in those over there. Okay, thank you. Let's move on. Item number 6.3, approval of amendments to the Policy and Procedures Manual. Sounds like
I'll take that one.
Amy.
I'll take that one. I wrote it out so I don't talk too long. So from time to time, we come across policies in our manual that need a little retooling. Our manual was crafted years ago. So as we're going through it, we think there's different areas that can be updated. And so the policies that you have in your packet are policies that we've always had in place and they've been utilized. However, when we were reviewing the policies, there was a couple that were in different sections, but not the section where you would think it would be, or they might be a little bit vague. So we just wanted to expand some of those sections. So we had 2 of them. One was the leave of absence section, and that one we expanded the verbiage on requiring pre-authorization on all leave before it can be taken. this was one of the policies that was in several areas of the manual, but we wanted to make it clear in the leave of absence section, because that's where I think most people would look for guidance on leave. So there was only a couple sentences in there before, so we expanded that a little bit more. We also clarified when a certification is required for sick leave. We talked with some of the department heads. We felt the previous language was a little bit vague, and it left it up to the department heads to decide when they, it was their determination. And so this clarification will make it consistent throughout all the departments. So those were those two main changes in the leave section. And then the other clarification was on the probation period. So while it's not required, we use the probation period to evaluate new employees more closely, give them a little bit guidance on where they might need to go for improvement. So our probation periods can be extended for new employees when they're showing potential, their probation is coming up, and they might need a little bit more help or training or guidance, and so we can extend that for them there to get them where we need them to be. And then also, if we put an employee back on probation, we can use that for minor behavior or performance reasons before more severe disciplinary actions taken. So we don't use these very often, but we wanted to make sure it was in policy, so when we do use it, we can say, look, this is why we're using it. An example could be if absences, if there's an employee that's absent a lot, there's a pattern, and we don't want to go to a stronger discipline, and we could put them in probation and say, look, this is what's happening. You're on probation for 3 months. I can't remember what we do, 2 or 3 months. Get it together. Give us a plan. And it kind of gives them a little bit extra to work through their issues before it goes to something like a suspension or termination or something like that. So those have always been in our policy, but the wording for it was very light. It was very sparse. So we expanded that so that for 2 reasons. 1, to make it easier to find. We put it right in the probationary period section. And 2, to give clear expectations to employees and what they can expect if they are put on extended probation. So that's it. So the modifications don't change anything that we've been doing. We just expanded it so it's a little bit more clear to explain to employees. Before, I think it said under disciplinary actions, it just said the actions we could do is verbal warning, written reprimand, probation. Like it was just like a line that said probation. So we wanted to add the actual section of probation extension.
Okay.
That's it. That's all we have. So, yeah. We
So
go through.
Just clearing it up.
Yeah, we go through it and we're like, hey, next time we change it, can we change this wording a little bit? Because it's a little confusing, it's a little vague, so.
Okay, perfect, great. Thank you, Amy.
What
Appreciate
Amy does is she's been actually keeping tabs on those little details throughout the year. And then instead of coming to you all every, little bit, we try to bundle. And so Amy's been doing a really nice job bundling these, getting them ready, and then here you go.
Okay, good. Good. Well, great job, Amy. Keep those clear and easy to understand.
I don't know. It's all under NAPA, so if anybody wants to look at them again.
Okay.
It's 163 pages of fun.
Okay.
All
All right. All right. Okay, thank you. Any questions for Amy? Cheryl?
One of the things that is part of your sick leave policy here, it's in letter K, certification of illness for sick leave in excess of 3 consecutive working days, or if abuse of sick leave is indicated, the department manager, city manager, or designee shall require a certificate or letter from the attending physician stating that such illness prevented the employee from working, and the required certificate letter should indicate when the employee will be eligible to return to work. Is there flexibility in this? We have dealt with COVID, we know flu hits, and sometimes an employee may not be going to the doctor because they know they've got the flu or COVID and they've done a home test. I don't need to go into the doctor, but I need to stay out for more than 3 consecutive days.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
So under use of sick leave, I put Tom and I, so we put in the section that says, I can't even read it, I need my glasses. a department head or designee may consider the employee's self-certification, bless you, in their absence as administrative acceptable evidence. So we really just kind of need an acceptable evidence. So in that case, if I've got COVID and like I called Tom, I say, I've got COVID, I'm going to be out, I'm not going to the doctor because I took this test, and he finds that to be acceptable, he believes my self-certification, that could be the certification we need. It doesn't have to really be from a doctor. I don't know if that, does that kind of?
Yes, it does. Does
yeah.
that need to be spelled out differently than in K? So that it
I can
says,
throw it in there as well.
I don't know,
I mean,
what letter is that?
Oh,
Is it L or-
B2? B2?
B,
So it just has to be supported by administrative acceptable evidence. So the issue, and it's not a big issue, it doesn't happen often, but it was brought up that it used to say the city manager or designee may require a certificate letter, and that is where the confusion was, because some departments were like, oh no, you're good, I know you're sick, so we won't get it. And then someone in that same department might have the same a month or so later, and they might be required to bring in a note. So we wanted to kind of make it where it is required, but the supporting evidence is up to that department head.
your
for that.
B2 last sentence says, again, for absence in excess of 3 consecutive days, a certification or a doctor's note is required. So it is stated in B2 as well. So,
Yeah. I can,
though it does say that, that they may be considered employee self-certification.
yeah, maybe I should put, I can change that to.
So just a
Certification,
clarification.
no, I understand what you're saying, that I'm making it more confusing, but it wasn't that. Maybe I can change that to just leave it at administrative acceptable evidence, such as doctor's note, or how you want it.
So you guys
Well,
That may be, Jeff, what do you think?
I was gonna say, I can interpret this, I see where you're coming
Yeah.
from, but I can interpret this that you already say in the preceding sentence that a department head or a designated manager may consider the employee's self-certification. And then down below it says they need either a certification or a doctor's note. So the certification
Oh, okay,
by the department head or designated individual,
right.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
that
And
certification,
could be
Which-
what they've done.
which counts.
Yes, and then, yeah.
Or-
that was my-
If they don't have that, then they need a doctor. So the outside of that is if the department head does not accept a self-certification, then they have to have a doctor's note.
Yeah.
That's the way that could be.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what I think was on there, but I will put that wording in there.
Does it need to say
Certification by-
self-certification or doctor's note then? Or do you just leave it as certification? Maybe say an
Maybe-
approved certification?
Yeah,
Or an
accepted by the accepted
Or an
certification.
administrative certification or something like that,
I'll put administrative, that sounds good. Yeah, thank you.
just to kind of clarify what that certification is.
Right.
Because as I was reading that, if I was an employee, I would think, wait a minute, that tells me I have to have that. Thank you.
Yeah,
And we
okay,
appreciate you looking at
No,
these, 'cause
exactly, that's why
sometimes
we
we can
bring
get in that forest, and, as you know, the intent of this, it honestly rarely
Is to
happens.
never
We've
have
got
to
it.
use it, yeah.
But when it does,
Right.
it's when there's abuse.
Right, and we want to go to the policy, and when we're looking at it, we're like, oh, that
let's just
says
avoid
may,
the
you know what I mean?
problem of
So we want to make
abuse.
sure it's clear.
So we're trying to tighten it up just for honestly, the rare occasion that it's an abuse situation. That's all
Yeah.
it's here for.
Looks good.
Yeah. But I do appreciate that. I will get that changed before I send that out to staff tomorrow. So I'm trying to make it less confusing, but maybe not.
Okay, so Amy, so if you'd like us to approve that tonight, what are you doing? You're adding one word? What are you doing?
Oh, all the
Here.
underlined, so just under certification of illness, just talking about this certification or letter, and I'll change that wording so it's consistent throughout this chapter, so I'll do that admin certification,
Okay,
yeah. So, because we do understand that, someone might be sick and maybe the doctor writes, and they may be out for 3 days or until their fever's down. And so we understand that. But we also had, in the past, we've had some people bring a note that just says, I saw them today, please excuse them for today. And then, I'm like, well, they didn't even say they were sick, like it wasn't the best, so,
Okay.
We usually have to get a little bit more, and that's where that self-certification might come in. If they're calling in to
Okay.
Jake or somebody, and they're really something horrible, then he could say, okay, stay home, But it's rare, like Tom said, it's rare. We just want to have a
Okay.
policy so that people can point to it and say, this is what we need.
Okay.
This is what's expected.
So do we require a motion on this?
Oh, yeah, because we approve it by resolution.
Approve our resolution with
Oh, yeah.
said changes?
With said changes, great. Yeah,
Okay.
you guys are good.
Minor changes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can, if you want, I can send it out again tomorrow, and then if you're like, oh no, that's not the wording we want, then I can make those technical changes, and it doesn't have to come before council again. Like if the wording doesn't look right, you can just do technical,
Okay.
if you guys are good with that.
You do it whichever way you feel is necessary. I would feel confident in going ahead and making a
adding.
motion tonight on it, moving forward with that acknowledged clarification in that
Okay.
simple
Okay.
spot.
We'll
without
trust
having to
you
redo it.
on this one.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, thanks.
We always trust Amy,
Yeah.
always. So, no, it's just minor word here and there to
Yeah.
make it easier to understand. Okay.
Yep, I will get that
Would
changed.
you
Okay.
entertain a motion?
Entertain a motion.
I would make a motion that we accept the policy changes in the procedures manual with a slight correction as noted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and resolution, or a motion and a second to approve Resolution 25-24 with small technical changes in there. Okay? Is that right? We've got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote. Amy?
Councilmember Zichan?
Yes.
Councilmember Parkinson?
Yes.
Councilmember West?
Yes?
Councilmember Thomas?
Yes.
Councilmember Christiansen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thanks for your input on that, because it's always good to have more eyes on it.
Yeah, okay, we'll get her. Okay, 7, council communication with staff. Jill kind of raised her hand. You're up, Jill?
Oh, did I? I was scratching.
Yes, you did. No, I saw it go like this. You were
That's as far
scratching
up
some-
as you need to go.
Wow,
I saw it.
I'm gonna sell my soul here in a minute.
Don't go to an auction.
That was my thought.
Yeah, sold.
I just have one, some of the one family that lives on 300 that doesn't have on-street parking now because of the new striping has come to me a few times concerned. They have family, like Sunday dinners, family dinners, and don't have places for extended family to park. And the main concern now is Thanksgiving coming. They don't know where everyone's gonna park to get to their house. And they said they've used the senior center sometimes, but after an hour of parking there, they get kicked out. Which I understand, like, we really need to keep the senior center parking not turning into a community parking lot. But I feel like in this instance where they no longer have accessible parking because of what we needed to do for striping, which is something I completely agree with, if we can give some leeway on off hours for these families who no longer have street parking, to have their families be able to have somewhere to park for extended dinners, get-togethers, gatherings that are after hours of our.
Those areas of the striping, it's one of those, would I be wrong to say it's more of a guideline? They're not painted red. I don't mean to quote Pirates of the Caribbean. So, Lieutenant, if you can help me out on this?
I think the issue we run into with how they're painted now, the curbing is not the issue. It's the stripe, it's the fact that now they would be parking in the travel lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
So
their
that's where the issue
concern.
would come from.
Jill, to your point, I think that if it's like for a low family get-together, it's not a problem. I don't see us having a problem, especially after hours.
Okay.
The problem gets in is when people start using it as their overnight parking,
Yeah,
long-term parking,
Right,
And
exactly.
it's a
Parking all
thing.
over the stripe is a problem.
and then we're needing to go down there and deal with it. I don't see that as a problem.
Okay.
Lieutenant, thank you for your clarification on that.
Yeah. And certainly we, like you said, it's the long-term overnight parking that becomes the issue
Yeah.
city code-wise, and that then sometimes draws our attention over to it. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning me up on the white line thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah,
Does
I
that
think-
help?
Yeah, so I can just let them know they can park in the senior
Yeah,
center,
just not overnight.
not overnight, just for the
Yeah.
duration of,
Yeah, we don't want to be
And then
responsible for.
during that lunchtime, probably,
Yeah, there's, yeah, but it's, they're
but
there
who's to
on
know?
Thanksgiving, they're closed
Yeah.
anyway, so probably.
Otherwise, they can park at Romer Park. No,
really,
Then
Right,
we'll-
I was like, you can just park on our
can
street,
we
it's
start a
just back
shuttle,
there,
a
and
shuttle from Romer to
Old Firehouse Park, they
You
can
know,
park
actually,
there.
well,
They can-
down at the Newgate Mall, there's a UTA route that comes up that side of the city now.
Wow, how inviting.
we're
No,
really,
no.
really considerate.
Okay, pick another
Lots of
topic.
alternatives.
It's gonna be a 15-minute city.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Jill. Z?
I'm good too, thank you.
Cheryl?
A question I have is regarding the senior center, is in the past, they've invited us to come and help serve Thanksgiving dinner. Have we heard anything
Oh.
about that this year?
I just heard that today.
How about I give a tune-up on that?
Didn't we get an email today?
Yep, they would love to have your help on Wednesday, November 26th,
Okay,
at noon until 1 o'clock, and also on Wednesday, the 24th, for Christmas. So for the Thanksgiving, and you're looking at Wednesday on both of those, from basically
Okay.
noon to 1.
okay,
So yes, thanks for asking, Cheryl.
Okay, I got some
I was going
time.
to bring that up, it's in my note right here.
Hadn't had an opportunity to open our email yet.
yeah,
Noon?
didn't have a time on the email, so it was just.
And they love having you there.
They do enjoy it. Yeah, they do enjoy it. So if you can come, please come. I think Mike said you're available. Well, I better check my calendar. I didn't know what days it
Yeah,
was.
I'll have to
double
check
check, I
mine,
think.
but I'll put it here.
Okay, and unrelated to that
I
is
should be able to come.
multiple residents have commented about the new construction going in and really excited about seeing what is there. The questions are, what is going in? What is going in? What's going to be in that building? I don't know how much we have any further information. We have owner-occupied office space. We're told there's a dental office perhaps in there. Other than that, I don't know anything else to respond to them.
No, it's actually just a Class A office building, and it will just be offices. They are setting it up so that they could actually have individual owners in that property, so that it's not just going to be one owner of one business, but they'll have various owners there and part of a planned unit office building, for lack of a better way to put that. But they're looking at having a dentist, they're looking at having accountant work, those types of things in there.
Would they be leasing office space from the owners then? Is that what they would be doing?
There could be some of that, but they're also going to, you guys, I'm struggling for the word.
Sublet.
Condominium.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe is that a bad word?
No, that condominium.
It's kind of
condominium
separating it out
office space.
as condominium units. Individual owners could buy a piece of that property and it becomes that kind of a thing.
But not residential.
No.
Commercial.
Business, kind of like a co-op, kind of like anyways, they've actually approached Tyler on getting, and working with us on getting that so that they could have separate owners. But it's Class A office and, chairs and desks and maybe the dentist and stuff. I don't know for sure on that. But while we're talking about development, 5657 with, what's the name of that group, Mayor?
Yeah, West.
The auto group,
Yep,
auto something.
gosh, don't,
They're still working on some,
okay.
the Hertz group, but I can't remember the name of their bid.
Overland.
Overland West.
Overland, thank
Overland
you.
West.
Overland, they're still working on some planning and stuff. They have not died and fallen off the map yet. Kind of like our friends up here on 5,000. No, we don't have any update on that.
Okay.
But we're still working with Tyler on getting some things put together there. So
So
we're
they're
looking
going
forward to
to
that.
move from their current location to a new location? Is that what you're saying?
No, there's a new building going to go in, if I'm understanding your question right. Say that,
Yeah, they have a
They're
location
currently on
on
Washington
Boulevard.
and 28th.
They're on Washington
Yeah.
Boulevard right now?
I
Yep,
think they would
and-
like to sell that and move it.
Yeah.
yeah, they'll be moving it over.
Yeah, they closed down their rental business there, so there's a lot more that they don't need down there. But they have businesses in Idaho and Montana and throughout the western states. So that's their corporate center.
Yep, thank you, Jeff.
It's owned by my uncle, so. And his brother.
Oh, you're in the know then. Thank you. I was gonna say, wow, you are a plethora of information.
Okay, Gerald,
One last thing is about the green waste cleanup going very, very well. I myself have had an opportunity to use that service, and every time I've been there, those dumpsters are full, because I've been there more than once. And I spoke with you about the concerns about bags, and we're going to look to follow through with that one for our citizens. And just really appreciate that that service is available, as I've seen so many of our residents take advantage of that opportunity of dumping those there. It has certainly been a great help to our community.
The use has gone up quite a bit this year.
Yeah.
And we met with Republic Service today, and I've got to follow up on a question we had on the spring cleanup that was brought up by our friend here last week, or the last meeting. But met with them. They're actually going to make sure whatever we need on roll-offs, they're going to be available. If we go over our 12, fine, they're going to just cover it. They're going to take care of that no matter what number we end up at. So they, when we met with them today, that was part of our discussion. So we appreciate their support. They really want to be a good partner, and that was part of that. So.
okay,
That's everything.
great.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Jeff?
Oh, one last quick one to follow up on her on bags. Some of this, bags. I reached out to Jake, and yes, the sign says no bags. The problem is structurally, it's really all but impossible to get the leaves up and over that edge. If a resident brings a bag down and they throw the bags in, fine. We're not going to have a deal with it. We're going to pull the sign so that it's unfortunate because you can't it makes it very, very difficult. Get the leaves in there and then even individually split the bags. Because it's,
You'd have
when it
to,
gets,
you'd have to have
yeah,
they'd have to empty it onto a pile, and then we'd have to scoop it all and put it in the
yeah.
dumpster, which is.
Done.
Structurally, that's a little bit, yeah, Cheryl was being really, really, really obedient. And
Probably leaves.
so we're gonna pull the thread back on that just a little bit. It's like, okay, I don't know the outcome in the very, very end, but to that point. Okay.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay. Jeff has to be dismissed at 7:02, so we'll let him go. He's going to be late because he wanted to go at 7. Kept him here. Thanks, Jeff. He didn't have anything, by the way, so. Mike, anything?
I had a couple citizens asking, is there a way that we can get more lights put up in the city, just street lights, just to increase security and safety? And then I've had citizens also ask me, when is Santa Claus coming? Because they didn't see anything on the website or anything like that.
Okay. Great question. We talked about that in staff meeting today, and the Santa tracker will be alive and well. There will be things on Facebook, the webpage, and in the newsletter article coming up for December. And do you remember the date that Clay mentioned today?
No, I
Oh, that's right. Let me reach out to Clay really quick and see if date of Santa, and hopefully by the time I get to my report, it'll be done.
Or
Okay.
I can just wait till we have the meeting on Friday and then I can share that.
Sometimes if I do it right now, I'll remember.
It's coming up.
You know what I'm saying?
It's coming up. So,
Yep.
yeah.
But we're planning on, for sure planning on it.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. I've got a few things. Street sweeper, I thought we were maybe going to go on a little field trip on Friday. Are we going to do that?
If
Kind
we
of
do, if we have the right
53, 50.
weather, the street sweeper will have been out.
Okay. He was out today, I know that, but he did not have him hit 5350
Okay,
one more time. There's a little bit of,
okay.
from the from the rings, concrete rings, or a little bit of just debris
Okay.
from those. So if he could hit that, if we're gonna go down and see that. And I'd just like to know, did anybody receive, yesterday, a email from Maggie Huddleston on the Weber School District STEM Fair? On helping to judge or volunteer? I will pass that along. I think that's a great opportunity. And, to be a judge or for donations or something. So I will pass that along. She didn't have a list of who she sent that to, but, she's asked me to reach out, I guess, to other individuals. So I will forward that to you. All the information is on there. So, we'd like to support Weber School District. That one. And it is holiday gift time. And so for our employees this year, we'd like to buy them all oh no, we wouldn't. We don't like to buy them anything. We just like to give them a coupon for a free day off, which basically costs us nothing because Amy will fill in on every single. So if it snows, she will be driving a snow plow for the public works guy that
That's right.
took his coupon that day. So,
That's right.
Right, Amy?
That's right.
Okay, see, so we're covered. So I bring that up every year. Just kind of need a head nod if that's the way you want to do it. Doesn't cost us a lot of money, but the guys and the gals love it. So if that's okay with you, we got a head nod. Everybody will do that. We'll get those printed right away. They use those from Thanksgiving to when?
Till after the first pay period, the first of the year.
Okay.
So that if we have, snow removal
Public works
stuff,
guys trying to
situations,
take a day off.
we got
Okay.
plenty of room to make it
Okay,
work.
and we'll start when, immediately?
Yep.
Or whenever?
Essentially, we'll get a card out
Okay.
to everybody and let them know. It's probably start next week.
Okay, let's do that. That is all I have, so thank you. Tom?
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Sienta is December 13th at 8 o'clock. He'll start the tour, and we're working with Tannen on the tracker, so that'll be linked with on our webpage and Facebook and Instagram. And the mayor's group, the Lions Club, is donating the candy canes
Yes,
for the event, and
Carlos asked me if I would do that again, and so if you've got him on there, see if he's got enough, he should have enough candy canes. Will you just ask him?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, you're up, Tom. Hurry.
And-
Multitask, come on.
candy canes.
I could have done that myself.
Thanks, Mayor. I really did have something.
Okay, Tom, administration reports.
Okay, here we go.
Start you off again.
Administration reports. Just want to let you know, we've got some again, we've had some turnover, and we have more turnover in utility billing. It's not due to cultural or lack of performance or challenges that way. There's personal issues that are requiring some, we'll be losing Cassie. And so we now have 2 open positions in utility billing. We're requesting, if it wouldn't be a problem, to be kind of patient as those offices are going to struggle to be open, because right now we just have Heidi. Amy and Heidi, they've been working really diligently on interviewing and trying to find some good people to come in and replace them. We'll have obviously a training curve and getting them onboarded, but things will be a little lightly staffed. The court does a great job of helping to backfill on that, and that is great. Jean leaves for her retirement on
25th?
Yeah, like next Wednesday. So she's got like 4 days left. In the interim, I've been working with Soraya on covering, to help cover Jean's work that she's doing after she leaves. and kind of covering why we are interviewing and making a selection for the new court manager. So there's a few moving pieces on our table. We've got a very cooperative team that's willing to help out. Amy's even already, picking up some of the slack as well. Again, it comes down to that multi-hat situation we deal with here at the city. Because we're so small, we don't have a lot of bandwidth for other people to fill in. Larger cities, people will come and go and you won't feel it. Around here, we kind of feel it. So, little patience on that, if you don't mind, will be really appreciated. Again, it's not culture, it's not, I'm mad at the city. It's just, they needed to make a change. Mayor, he's double checking with, and we'll double check with you tomorrow on how many candy canes we have. So you and Clay will take care of that.
Okay, thank you.
Let me check on a couple things here. We've got the survey information back. We'll be going through the survey as an integral part of our retreat work on Friday, and then kind of teeing up the conversations for that. Look forward to meeting with all of you for, well, at least some of you for that. And I don't believe that I have anything else to announce other than it's really very gratifying in a personal nature that almost every single child that comes to the rustic playground runs over and gets on a rock. And a little kid got over there. I just happened to pull it up. A little kid goes over there. Jake was standing over my shoulder, and I said, watch this. And the little kid gets up, He-Man pose, does a little dance, and then jumps off. So it's just like, okay, that told us our story. So thank you very much. We're super excited about that down there. We'll be doing some ribbon cutting for that in April. We didn't know what weather would be like in November, so we're going to push that to April for the official opening, but everything's open down there. The picnic tables are all good to go, and people are using it a lot. It's just really gratifying to see how much people are integrating into that already. So I will forego any other bloviations.
Thank you.
So,
Ribbon cutting, Jill, you will be there.
ribbon cutting?
No doubt.
We'll send you a date, but you will be there. You had a lot to do with that, and the design and stuff down there, so.
Appreciate it. And in fact, we were talking as a team the other day how we appreciate the pulling back of the thread and going, dude, the tree. We need the rope tree.
Yeah.
And what a great blend of activities that kids can do down there.
Yeah.
It's really fun, as well as adults. I've seen some adults up on the tree, and they've quite enjoyed that.
Was it Jill? Was Jill up on the tree?
She was up there doing one of these things like, I don't, was that a quote?
That's why we got the 17-inch of soft fill for Jill to jump off into.
No, that's why I don't jump off, because we don't need to have a medical emergency.
Yeah, we don't want a medical
Okay.
emergency.
No, it literally looks cool down there, but yeah, we'll invite ramp and have ramp cookies and do the thing, so.
Yep.
But Jill, we will let you know. We'd love to have you there, okay?
Yep.
Upcoming events, November 20th, Planning Commission canceled.
Dang
Okay.
it.
But then the 21st and 22nd, we have our retreat, 7:30 on Friday, 8 o'clock on Saturday.
Breakfast, if you want to have breakfast, get there about 7:30.
Okay.
We'll have, Friday, we're just going to have carbs,
Okay.
essentially. And then we're going to have a cooked breakfast on Saturday morning.
Okay, so
Clay's going
7:30-ish,
to help out with that.
7:30-ish.
So
Okay.
anywhere in there. We'll have
Okay.
plenty of cold caffeine.
Okay.
We'll have the treats and and all the paraphernalia, including a vegetable tray.
Ooh,
So we want to mix in a couple vegetables in case
Yeah,
somebody feels like
sure.
they, need to
Okay.
pretend they're
Okay.
healthy.
okay,
So, yeah.
that sounds good. Okay, and so remind that, put that on your calendar. We'd love to have you all there. I believe all staff is going to be there.
Most for most of the time. We've got
Okay.
a couple, we've got
Okay.
Tyler is going to be in and out a little bit.
Oh,
He's got
oh, yeah.
a funeral situation he's
Oh,
dealing with,
oh,
with
okay.
his father-in-law.
Okay. Oh, that's too bad.
You know,
Well, if he can-
I thought maybe we'd go ahead and give him a little
Yeah,
slack.
yeah, if he stops by,
Is
that'd
that
be
okay?
great.
You know,
Please.
Yeah, give him a little slack. Okay, sounds
Yep.
good. And then November 27th and 28th, Thanksgiving holiday, these offices will be closed, but let's not forget the 26th at noon that we just found out at the Senior Center lunch, if you'd like to serve lunch with us. November 26th, that's a Wednesday at noon. December 2nd is our next city council meeting at 6 p.m. Tentative Planning Commission meeting on December 18th. Of course, offices closed on Christmas and offices closed on New Year's Day. You notice there's only one city council meeting in December. There's just the one. Tom?
Jean's retirement party at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, the 25th.
Yes.
I meant to remind everybody for that.
Yeah, I had that
Love
written
to
on
have
there
you
and I
there.
forgot it, so thank you.
42 years. 42 years. That is quite an endurance.
That is quite wow.
So,
No,
anyways,
No,
she has done a beautiful job,
yeah.
you know, going through her stuff and, you know, employee of the year and different things when we used to do that. It was just, it's fun to look back on some of
Yeah.
her accomplishments
Yeah.
and the great job she
Yeah,
did.
try to stop by if you can. She would really
Yep.
enjoy it, so. But
Great.
man, she deserves it, doesn't she? She'll love retirement. Maybe, I don't know. After that long, it's like, wow. So, okay, great, thank you. We've covered everything. Anything else? Nothing on the agenda, so don't bring anything up that we have to discuss. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?